In this video, we'll put the most popular robot vacuums we've tested in tiers, depending on performance. From best to worst, we'll have 6 tiers. The best robots are put in the S tier. The worst are put in the E tier. Most robots will fall somewhere in between. Let's start with a few premium options. The Dyson 360 Vis Nav is an excellent vacuum. It has a ton of airflow and suction. It deep cleans exceptionally well, and it's highly resistant to hair tangling. But it retails for over $1,000, and it lacks many premium features like self-emptying and small obstacle detection. It also navigates inefficiently. This puts it in the B tier. The Eufy S1 Pro also retails for over $1,000, but has several premium features. It auto-empties its dustbin, auto-washes and dries its mop, and it's able to detect and avoid small obstacles very well according to our testing. In addition, the S1 has several unique mopping features, though some of these actually hurt its performance in our tests. For example, it exerts a downward pressure as it mops, but this caused it to lose traction in our mopping tests, which hurt its cleaning efficiency. Its rolling mop also washes itself as it cleans, but this requires a very rigid design. The robot can't extend this mop or whip it against edges, which hurt its mopping performance along edges and in corners in our tests. The S1 also paths too far away from certain edges when vacuuming, and it doesn't deep clean very well. Overall, we put it in the C tier. Moving on to other Eufys we've tested, the X10 Pro Omni is several $100s cheaper than the S1. It has a more traditional rotating mop design, but otherwise has many of the same premium features. It auto-empties, auto-washes, auto-dries, and it's able to detect and avoid small obstacles just about as well as the S1. In our mopping tests, it mops the center of the test station without losing traction, and it adds a whipping motion to its edge pathing to mop edges better than the S1. It also vacuums better than the S1. So in terms of real-world performance, it actually does better than the S1 at a lower price. On the negative side of things, you can't turn off this whipping motion for vacuuming, and this motion really doesn't benefit vacuuming, while it does substantially increase the time it takes for the robot to clean. The X10's brush roll also features densely packed bristles, which can get wet and messy when it's mopping, tangle very easily with long hair, and even tangle slightly with shorter pet hair. Many competitors have all rubber brush rolls that don't have any bristles to mitigate these same issues. Overall, we put the X10 in the B tier. It offers excellent obstacle detection for the price, and it's a solid vacuum and mop, but it does have some significant drawbacks as well. The Eufy L60 is a very basic robot that can't mop and doesn't offer small obstacle detection, but it still self-empties, and it's several $100s cheaper than the X10. It's also a very good vacuum for the price, and it navigates very well for the price. This is an excellent budget-friendly option, so we put it in the A tier. The Eufy X11S Max is even cheaper than the L60, and picks up most types of surface-level debris just as well as more expensive options. But it navigates much more inefficiently. It moves furniture a lot more as it cleans, and it doesn't always get perfect coverage. We still put it in the C tier though because of its price and vacuuming ability. Moving on to another popular brand, the iRobot Roomba Combo 10 Max is the iRobot equivalent to the Eufy Omni S1 Pro. Like the S1, the Combo 10 Max also vacuums and mops, auto-empties into this dust bag, auto-washes using these clean and dirty water tanks, auto-dries, and detects and avoids small obstacles. But this robot's general navigation is broken. In our clutter room testing, it pushed around obstacles like this chair frame much more than competitors, and it also had trouble returning to its dock. In our empty room testing, it didn't leave its dock at all. Even after multiple attempts with multiple reboots, we couldn't get the robot to leave its dock. This one goes in the E tier. The Roomba S9 was replaced by the Combo 10 Max as iRobot's flagship in 2024, but is still readily available today, often at a discounted price. The S9's navigation isn't broken, but it's still not very good. It bumped into more obstacles more times and with more force than most other robots we tested, and it didn't always get complete coverage in our tests. Because it's an older flagship, the S9 also lacks many more modern premium features, like mopping with mop washing and drying, and small obstacle detection. It does vacuum exceptionally well though, and it's one of the most powerful robot vacuums we've tested, so we put it in the C tier. The Roomba J7 is more of a mid-range option. It's usually less than half the price of the Combo 10 Max, and considerably cheaper than the S9. The J7 basically has the same vacuum design as the Combo 10 Max, albeit with less power. It also features small obstacle detection, which works very well. It just can't mop, and it doesn't have any mop automation features. It's a better navigator than the S9 and the Combo 10 Max, but it still doesn't navigate nearly as precisely or efficiently as top-rated robots we recommend. Overall, the J7 also goes in the C tier. The Combo J7 is basically a J7 that adds mopping ability, but at a higher price, so this one also goes in the C tier. The i3 Evo is a few $100s cheaper than the J7. It has the exact same vacuum design and power as J7 robots, and so it picks up most types of debris just about as well, but it can't detect small obstacles, and it generally navigates even worse. The best example of this is edge cleaning. Notice how the i3 doesn't pass sufficiently close to the edge to pick up edge debris properly, while the J7 does get sufficiently close. Overall, we put the i3 in the D tier. The Roomba Vac Essential lives up to its name. It only has the most essential robot vacuum features. Compared to the i3, it is less expensive, but it loses self-emptying capability, and it has a more basic vacuum design with a single bristled brush roll versus the dual all-rubber brush roll design of the i3. Despite this design change, it still picks up most types of debris just as well as the i3. The problem for this robot is once again navigation. It often paths inefficiently, misses coverage, and in this trial, you can see how it sometimes pushes around its charging base before docking. This is also a D-tier robot. Lastly, we do want to briefly mention the Roomba 694. This robot was replaced by the Vac Essential in iRobot's lineup, but is still available for sale. Like the Vac Essential, it picks up most debris well, but struggles with navigation, so it also goes in the D tier. Moving on to yet another very popular robot vacuum brand, we have Shark robots. So far, we've tested 3 Shark robots, the IQ, the AI, and the Matrix. All 3 of these Sharks self-empty into a bin, which you can eventually empty and reuse, while most competitors use bags that have to be replaced at cost. This is a very strong positive for Sharks. The problem for the IQ is that it has a very poor side brush design. Its side brushes only have one bundle of fibers extending from the center of the brush. Most competitors have side brushes with at least 3 bundles of fibers that extend from the center of the brush. And so, unsurprisingly, the IQ performs quite poorly cleaning edges. It also paths very inefficiently at times. And despite being a mapping robot with a camera, it couldn't generate any maps during testing. This one goes in the E tier. The Shark AI was able to generate maps during testing without issue, and its mapping features work very well. But it keeps the same side brush design as the IQ, so it also performs poorly cleaning edges. And despite using LiDAR to navigate, it still struggled in certain aspects of our navigation testing. So we put it in only one tier above the IQ in the D tier. The Shark Matrix finally gets rid of the IQ and AI's terrible side brush design. It only has one oversized side brush, but this brush has 3 bundles of fibers extending from the center of the brush, and so the Matrix cleans edges much better than other Sharks. It also has more measured power, which helps it deep clean better, and it navigates better than other Sharks. The problem for this robot is with how it compares to top-rated robots we recommend. The Matrix navigates better than other Sharks, but not better than top-rated options. It cleans edges better than other Sharks, but not as well as top-rated options. It also struggled cleaning the center of the test station in our hard floor stress test. Overall, we put it in the C tier. So far, we've tested only one Eureka robot vacuum, the E20 Plus. This robot also features a bagless design, like Sharks, but it also suffers from major issues, like Sharks. The E20 picks up surface-level debris on carpet and hard floors noticeably worse than most competitors. It also struggled in our clutter room navigation test with inefficient pathing and missed coverage, and in our small obstacle test in which it ran right over most small obstacles despite being marketed as a robot that's able to avoid these types of obstacles. Overall, we put the Eureka E20 in the D tier. Over the years, we've tested several robots from Ecovacs, but the only model still readily available today is the Dyson T30S. The T30S is loaded with features, including small obstacle detection, self-emptying, self-washing, self-drying, and an extendable mopping pad for better edge mopping. Our main complaint with this robot involves its small obstacle detection. It just doesn't execute this feature very well. In our small obstacle detection test, it repeatedly catches the edge or sometimes even completely runs over obstacles it should avoid. This robot's general navigation can also be quirky at times, and so can its app. It's a very good robot vacuum and mop in most other aspects though, so we put it in the B tier. Moving on to the Dreame brand, we generally find Dreame robots to be a much better value than their Ecovacs counterparts. For example, the L10S Ultra is the better value Dreame equivalent to the Ecovacs T30S. The L10S Ultra also offers small obstacle detection, self-emptying, self-washing, and self-drying. Its mop doesn't extend, but this is really the only prominent feature it's missing compared to the T30S. And despite this limitation, it still performs almost as well as the T30S mopping edges. In most other tests, the L10S Ultra offers very similar performance to the T30S, with the same strengths, those being general vacuuming and mopping ability, and the same weaknesses, those being small obstacle detection and general navigation. The difference is that the L10S Ultra is much cheaper, so we put it in a tier above the T30S, in the A tier. The Dreame D10 Plus is a step down from the L10S Ultra in terms of features and price. It can't automatically wash or dry its mop, and it can't detect small obstacles, but it is less expensive. And it's one of very few robots at its price point that can vacuum, self-empty, and mop at all. Similarly priced top-rated competitors like the Eufy L60 and Roborock Q5 Max can vacuum and self-empty, but can't mop. Overall, the D10 was a decent performer in our tests, and it does mop well for the price, but it doesn't vacuum or navigate as well as top-rated competitors like the L60 and Q5 Max, so it goes in a tier below these other options in the B tier. Moving even further up the robot vacuum food chain, we have Roborock robots. We consistently find Roborocks outperforming their Ecovacs and Dreame equivalents. We start with the Roborock Qrevo Master. The Qrevo Master is more of a premium option compared to the mid-range Ecovacs T30S and Dreame L10S Ultra. That being said, it is the best premium robot we've tested so far. It self-empties, automatically washes and dries its mopping pads, and detects and avoids small obstacles, and it executes each of these features exceptionally well. It's one of only a handful of robots that passed our small obstacle test with a 100% success rate, properly avoiding all of the obstacles in the room. Its mop extends for excellent edge and corner cleaning, and its docking station is very well equipped with hot water washing and a self-cleaning feature to minimize long-term maintenance. This robot also vacuums very well, with excellent performance in both of our stress tests and our carpet deep clean test. Overall, the Qrevo Master provides better performance and more useful features than any other robot vacuum we've tested, so it goes in the S tier. The Qrevo S is the Roborock equivalent to the Ecovacs T30S and Dreame L10S Ultra. Like these other mid-range robots, it generally vacuums and mops well, but it struggles detecting and avoiding small obstacles. The main difference between the Qrevo S and the T30S and L10S Ultra involves general navigation and app control. The Qrevo S generally navigates much better than these competitors, with better precision and efficiency, especially in cluttered environments. App control for this robot is also much better than it is for competitors. The Roborock app is much more stable, it's more responsive, and it's quicker, especially compared to the Dreame app. Overall, the Qrevo S isn't perfect, but it is the best mid-range robot vacuum we've tested so far, so it goes in the S tier. Compared to Qrevos, the Q7 Max has a much more basic mop design. It also lacks automatic mop washing and drying and small obstacle detection, but it still vacuums and navigates around larger obstacles just as well. Overall, it's an excellent, more affordable alternative to Qrevos, so we put it in the A tier. The Q5 Max is even cheaper than the Q7 Max. It can't mop at all, but it also vacuums and navigates around large obstacles just about as well as much more expensive Roborocks, like the Qrevo S and Master. As long as you don't need mopping functionality, this robot is a terrific value. It's the best budget-grade robot vacuum we've tested, so we put it in the S tier. Finishing up this guide, we'll go over a few other budget options. The Bissell Spinwave is one of the cheapest robots on the market with rotating mopping pads, and it mops reasonably well. But it isn't a good vacuum. It was a bottom-tier performer in our carpet deep clean test. It also struggles picking up edge debris, and it generally navigates quite poorly, so we put it in the E tier. The ILIFE V3s Pro is very cheap. It usually retails for close to $100. This robot uniquely uses a nozzle instead of a brush roll to pick up debris, which keeps it from tangling with longer hair. It also picks up debris fairly well on hard floors, but it struggles with pickup on carpet, and it gets uneven and incomplete coverage in our navigation tests. Overall, we can only put it in the D tier. The iLife V5S features the same basic design as the V3S, but adds mopping functionality, while maintaining a very low competitive price. This puts it in one tier above the V3S in the C tier. The Wyze robot picked up most types of debris very well in our pickup testing, and it pathed very precisely and efficiently in our navigation testing. The only major negative for this robot is that it's not compatible with an auto-empty docking station. Overall, the Wyze robot earns a spot in the A tier as an excellent budget option if you don't need self-emptying functionality. See the description of this video for the latest updated list of all of the robot vacuums we recommend. And thank you for watching.